Hi, all you SPMEs out there. Today's question or issue has three answers, and I want you to stick around for the third answer because it's a secret as to which platform is making me the most money or is the most profitable in 2021 for publishing your book on. So let's get into it. The question or thing today that was where I self-publish my books. And the thing is that when you first get started with self-publishing, you're not sure where you should be publishing your books. And one of the best ways to figure that out is to talk to successful self-publishers who are currently publishing across a number of platforms or in networks to know exactly which ones are going to be the most profitable. You shouldn't just put your book on any network. You want to make sure the network that you're putting them on and the distribution channels are the most profitable, the ones that are going to make you the most money, unless you just want max distribution, which is another option. But in terms of making a profit, which is what most people would like to do, they would like to get their books in the hands of the right people and then also make a profit off of those exact same books. And that is what we're going to answer in today's video. This is Chris Baird from selfpublishingmadeeasynow.com, where self-publishing doesn't have to be so hard. Click the subscribe button if you'd like for me to make more videos like this one, and check out below in the description and you can grab a copy of my absolutely free self-publishing checklist to make sure you aren't skipping any of the important steps when it comes to getting your books self-published. So, audiobooks, anyone? When I first got started with self-publishing, I thought that audiobooks were very difficult to produce. I mean, where do you start? And you think of them in terms of maybe the most difficult area of getting your book onto the market. But I was very, very surprised because what happened was other people told me just how much money they were making off of their audiobooks alone. And that made me reconsider this issue of whether or not I should research the subject of audiobooks and start getting them onto the market. So I discovered you could split the revenue on ACX. You can split the revenue with a narrator there without actually even paying them any money. And these are narrators who already know how to do your book. You can put your book right onto Kindle. You have to have a Kindle version, and then give them a copy, access to that Kindle version, right? You send them a copy of your manuscript. Usually a PDF is what I would send them, but you can send them a copy of your manuscript, and then different narrators will take turns auditioning for the right to publish or to narrate your book. And once they've come to once you've listened to these different ones and you decide which one you want, you start the job, you give them a deadline, and they will produce the audio files, directly upload them to Audible, ACX, or to ACX rather, and they will then take those audio files and they'll put them out there. They'll go through their quality check, and if everything is okay, then you'll be sent back a notification, and now your book is for sale. So in other words, you didn't actually do anything other than change the dimensions on your cover, find a narrator, and let them do all of the work. The downside is of your 40% margins, you're going to be splitting it 20/20. I later discovered that by hiring your own narrator directly, who you can find on Fiverr or Upwork, you'll be able to have them do your audiobooks at a much better rate for you, and you will keep all of the profits that come from that audiobook. So that would be all 40% of the margins that are coming off of your audiobooks. And this is something you definitely are going to want to do. But if you find it a huge burden, well, then you would not go start with that, but rather pull back a little bit. But that was what I discovered, was that I started doing that, and also is useful when you're doing bundles and maybe your previous narrators aren't around to do the bundles, to put it all together, and you're able to pay for just the opening and ending of the bundles as opposed to the whole file. Whereas if you do a narrator split, they're going to make all of the money off of your bundled books. So if you have 4 books and you put them together, they're going to make money 40%, 20% of that total amount, as opposed to you can make 40% if you're combining them together. So there's a couple tricks like that that help me understand that by listening to people who are already making a profit, they could definitely help me out. Now, the main source of profit from ACX Audible previously was through the bounties, because anytime somebody new listened to your book, they would send you $50, and I was getting, could be as much as 10 to 20 of these a month. And so that would make you a good sizable amount of change off of the bounties alone, which made it worth your while, even if nobody actually was, not very many people were downloading or buying your books, but that wouldn't be a problem. But the key is, even after this most profitable thing that used to make Audible the most profitable disappeared, we still see that sales continue coming in on a daily basis, and where you make the most money changes. And that's why today's secret answer is going to tell you where my most profitable location is. So where I self-publish my books? Well, the first thing is my ebooks. I start with Kindle, which is, by the way, if you don't have a book on the market, that's where you start. Get your Kindle book out first. Then we go to Ingram Spark and then Smashwords. So there's the order of books. Ingram Spark requires you to have an ISBN, and they have to review the book, and those both can cost you money. Smashwords is free, but it makes way less sales than Kindle does, and you also need an EPUB version, which if you're looking for formatting, make sure you grab a copy of the program Jutoh, which you can see in my affiliate link below in the description, for the program I use personally and my virtual assistants use to make sure that the books are of high quality that are being produced. The second thing is your paperbacks, starting with KDP Print and then Ingram Spark. So those are where I exactly go. And again, with Ingram Spark, you're going to need an ISBN, and they have a review cost, which could hit you then, unless you're using a promo code from them, or you live in a country where you can get free ISBNs, and then they combine it together. But even if you don't, you can do both your ebook with them, an EPUB version, and you can do your paperback version with Ingram Spark, and using one promo code or $50, they will do both of them. So that's another little tip for you. The third is I do my hardback books on Lulu, and generally I'm only using my best sellers on these ones here. So I make sure that my best sellers go out absolutely first. So there is a process in getting the covers, especially Lulu. The covers are a little bit trickier, but it's worth the effort. And the fourth is Audible, using ACX Audible for the distribution of your audiobooks. And the order you should be doing this in would be Kindle first, then you would do your KDP Print, and then Audible, because they hang together. Remember, like I said before, you can't do your Audible book unless you have a Kindle book on the market already, okay? So those are what you're going to want to remember. And the main reason I have it in this order is because they flow out of each other, and they're all through Amazon, so you're able to get them out. They have a large audience, and together they will make you a greater profit than you will individually. And the final thing I wanted to say about that is my secret answer of the day, which is, assuming we're only choosing one of these platforms, then my number one recommendation would be Ingram Spark. Doing print books through them is by far the most profitable of everywhere I have put my books, at least for 2021. I'm looking at the daily sales coming in there, and I'm making more money on Ingram Spark than anywhere else. And so if you're looking at making money, if that's one of the goals, then Ingram Spark is something you want to consider. But keep in mind, you will have to pay $50 for them to do the review of your book unless you have a promo code, which they come out with regularly. And two, they're still going to charge you for it. You're going to have to pay to get your ISBN number unless you live in, like where I live, in Norway or in Canada, in order to get those ISBNs for free. So, but in the United States, you will have to pay. So that's something also to consider. So what is your most profitable platform for self-publishing? Go ahead and let me know below in the comments. I love to find out what you have found and which areas are making you the most money at the moment for 2021, so I can help even more people. Let me know there, and check up above me here, and you can watch more free videos that will answer your self-publishing questions. Thanks.